Hey guys, Brady at East Rosebud again. Today we're going to tie a kind of a variation of a pheasant tail on yet another way to use a jig hook in a different way. But pheasant tail, pretty cool fly. All right, we're going to start this fly. I've got a slotted tungsten bead, red. This thing, so the bead is going to wind up being kind of our thorax, and a different way to tie on a jig hook. So you can use a number of different colors, really whatever you want to do. And then the hook here is a 304 Kumoto 60-degree jig hook. The bead, clip that out. I'll cover up my little mess up here. So before we even work back to the tail and start this thing, we're going to get this bead set to where we want it. I'm going to pull this bead off of that jig to where it sits kind of just where it bends there. So we're going to take our thread ahead of it a few times, jump back over, and kind of just jam it on either side here. That looks good. Make sure it's secure there. Now we'll go to the tail and begin this fly. I've got probably 6 or 8 pheasant tail fibers here that we're going to tie in off the tail, right on top. A couple good wraps, and then I'm going to peel that out of the way. Go forward and leave it there for a second. Got some small amber wire here we're going to use to rib this fly. Tie that in down the side. Be careful not to be too rough on this pheasant tail. You can bust it out of there and then kind of waste material. And I'm just going to build a little bit of a thread taper here. Something like that. Now we're just going to take our pheasant tail, carefully wrap it up the body here. Tie that off. Leave yourself a little bit of space between the body and the bead. Now we'll wrap our wire up the body. And spin that out of there. Okay, so this part here, it's pretty essential to have a rotary vise. We're going to flip this upside down. This is how the fly is going to go in the water. Hooks up. We're going to take another 6 or 8 pheasant tail fibers. And tie these in on top of this hook like that, or I guess it'd be on the bottom side. Carefully get in there and trim out those tag ends. Oh, this is another kind of cool part of the fly. We're going to add some ice dub to this thorax along with the bead, so you can do whatever colors you like, mix and match and find what works for you. I've got purple here, so we're going to add some purple into it. All we're doing here is just covering up those thread wraps between our wing case and the bead. Okay. So that looks good. From here we're going to jump this bead again, secure that down in front of the bead, and we're going to peel over our wing case materials and kind of split the eye of that. See if I can show that to you. We'll split the eye of that jig hook and do a couple wraps here. Make sure we like where it wound up, which it looks good. I'm gonna pull these down, kind of keeping my thread out of the way so I don't clip it again, and trim that out. And then we've got just a whip finish to finish this thing off. There we have a, I don't know, you can call it a tungsten bead thorax pheasant tail. Kind of a cool, different way to tie on jig hooks, and it fishes well. I've fished it in a number of different colors and fun to tie.